It's April 14th. So I would say in baseball we have what, G? We have a long way to go.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, one of my buddies told me last night that you hate when I ask you questions. Like, he can tell that when I ask you a question like that, especially when it's a rhetorical one, you kind of get really upset with me for some reason. And I don't know if that comes through on the TV. I don't know if it comes through on the radio.
Well, no, he's right, and I've said it before. I mean, I've been very clear with that. When you
Just answer your own question already.
Yeah, that's why we made that.
Okay, but I'm just saying. So anyway, but we wake up here. We know we have a long way to go in baseball.
Yeah.
But I looked at the standings this morning just to check them out, see where everybody was, what's going on right now. Yeah,
just take a gander.
And I know the Mets, have played a few less games simply because of the rainouts and because of what happened opening weekend in Washington. But lo and behold, the Mets are in first place. The Yankees are in last place. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. And I know if I'm a Yankee fan, I am irked. I am irked because just watching the highlights, I did not see the game. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I saw the game because I didn't. But I did watch the highlights this morning. You know, if you're a Yankee fan, I think you got to be a little bit disgusted. You really do. I mean, there's really one guy, it seems like, that has the attitude that you want, and his name happens to be Garrett Cole. And he showed that attitude in the second inning of his last outing. And you saw a championship pedigree. And you want other players to feed off of that. I'd like to think that DJ LeMahieu's like that, and Aaron Judge is like that, and Gleyber Torres can be like that, and Gio Urshela is like that. But it's flat. For some reason, it's flat.
Very flat. And also them playing in a spring training park, too, also makes it feel more flat. I'm sorry, it just does. And I understand the Blue Jays are playing there, too, but they're used to it. It does not have any sort of energy. The Yankees are lacking energy to start the season, and there's two things that really concern you. One, going into the season, you're like, after Garrett Cole, what is this staff going to be? And so far, it hasn't been good. And the other thing that has annoyed you is some of the stuff in the past that's in the back of your mind about the Yankees getting big hits in big games, and they haven't been able to do that early on in the season.
So we have a long way to go. We're still in April. It is what it is. I mean, I can't tell you. All I know is that when I watched the Mets last night, and I was watching the Mets on my phone, and in the suite that I was in.
Oh, okay. So you did get the suite.
I got a suite last night.
You did get the suite. Give me the rundown on the menu in the suite.
It was great. You know, you have to pre-order, and it all comes pre-packaged and everything else. Everything's very careful.
Box of niblets?
No niblets. But I will say that the way that The Rock is set up and the way that they are going through their protocols, it was about as seamless and as easy as you could possibly imagine. So there were 3,600 fans last night at The Rock. I would have to say it. I'm not taking a shot at Devil fans. I know that the Devils are in a rebuild. They sold their best players. And, I've been down this road with my team.
Sure.
So I know how disgusted you become as a fan. And, especially if you're a season ticket holder, even though that all of that stuff has been wiped out. It's not fun watching your team going through a rebuild. It is fun when they start to get to where the Rangers are getting to, because you're seeing a lot of those young players start to really show up and do the right things on the ice and be defensive-minded first and foremost and come back and do what they're supposed to be doing. But, there were about 3,600 fans there last night. I would say two-thirds had to be Ranger fans.
That makes sense,
right?
Doesn't it?
And I will say that The Rock goes out of their way to make me comfortable and to make me feel good about going over there. It is a great place to watch a hockey
Devils
game.
Are a great organization.
Hey, the screen just above, the ice is unbelievable.
You just locked in on that. You're not even watching.
As you remember, when we were doing the games there, it's great. And, look, we won the game. We only had 20 shots on goal. And, of course, Kreider gets in a fight. And I'm like, okay, is that setting a tone? I mean, these two teams are going to be playing each other 3 times now over the next 6 days. And it's going to be fight after fight. It's because the Devils are still fighting. They're still playing hard. Igor Shesterkin was great last night, made a couple of really key saves. But, it's just going to get nasty. And this is what happens when you have these kind of schedules and these kinds of setups where these teams play each other so much in such a short period of time.
So did you get access to that little area downstairs?
No.
You didn't get access to that?
I don't think that area is open.
Oh, it's not?
No, I don't think
I thought
that
they'd open it just for you.
No, there are a couple places around the Rock that are open where you could have gotten a beer if you wanted to and stuff like that. But, when you're in a suite, you just get catered.
You don't have to worry about that.
Right.
It's just a straight catering situation.
Right. And, it's actually nice when you go with, 4 of the buddies. Because there's not 1,000 people around. You don't have 20 people in a suite where people want to talk about other things like me asking you questions and you getting upset with me. I mean, so it was a very, very enjoyable night. And quite frankly, you know what the Yankees need? They need energy. And you know who actually is bringing energy to the Mets?
Marcus Stroman last night.
Yes.
Marcus
so it seems
Stroman.
like whatever he's doing right now is working, and it's 2 really good outings for him. And I told you at the beginning of the year, if he pitches like this, he'll be lauded. He'll be loved. He'll be supported by the fan base, and everybody will love him, and his teammates will love him. And last night when he walked in the in the 7th inning, or 6th inning, I think it was, because he didn't come out for the 7th. You could see everybody in the dugout laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
So he's obviously popular right now with his teammates. He's popular with the fan base, and he is energy. He is bringing energy. He got a lot of ground balls last night. They had 6 ground balls last night, only threw 86 pitches. And I thought, you know what? Once they got that 4th run, why bring him out for the 7th inning? There's really no reason to, especially since he warmed up on Monday and he got shut down. So he was very effective with the way that he pitched. I wonder if it does anything differently to his preparation for his next start, given the way that this start went and how well he pitched.
Maybe. I don't know. But I don't think anything can be more disjunct than what he just went through, which was throw 7 pitches after getting ready for a start. Then it's, a couple of days or a next day, and then he's back out there at night after the doubleheader, so he handled that fine.
I just wonder if he felt like, okay, so I pitched, 7 or 8 pitches on Monday at full go.
Sure, yeah.
Like he was all in, he was prepared, he was ready to go in that game, and then 2 days later he comes back and pitches this well.
Yeah.
You just got to wonder if that but makes you think about the way that you've been going about your routine, and would you change it?
Interesting. I don't know. That's a question for the Mets pitching staff and Luis Rojas. But good starting pitching, timely hitting, no defensive gaffes, and a couple of wins against the Phillies. It was Jonathan Villar in the first game and Brandon Nimmo in the second game coming up with the biggest hits.
Well, Jonathan Villar came up with another hit in the second game.
He did.
The other thing, too, I have to say, Pete Alonso made some great plays over at first base.
Well, he's been working his ass off. He's been telling us, and it's actually paying off. It's one thing to say it, that you've been working on your defense, and that was a priority for you, and now we're actually seeing it.
In the first game, he takes an errant throw by McCann from behind the plate, and he does a great job snatching that one. And then, last night he takes a ball from, I think it was either not Urshela. It was I think it was the Lindor ball that was a little high, and he took it off the base and was back off the foul line. I mean, that's Gold Glove stuff there. I'm not saying he is a Gold Glover just yet, but I will say that, the defense at first base looks a heck of a lot better than it did. That's for sure. At least in these 2 games it did.
Yeah, and he is – the thing I really like about Pete Alonso was he had the great rookie season, and he came back and he was miserable in that pandemic season, and he didn't just say, it was just the pandemic season. He said, I needed to be better. That was not good enough. I wasn't good enough offensively. I wasn't good enough defensively. He didn't just toss it away and say, forget about it. I'm just going to flush it. It was a weird year. He came back. He worked on those things, and far, so good.
Kind of like Julius Randle did?
Oh, yeah. Damn right, like Julius Randle did. And the Nets just continue to win, by the way. I mean, it doesn't matter it just doesn't matter who plays. They score 130 points. They just blow everybody out for the most part, except for that Lakers loss. That doesn't matter. Harden, Durant, Kyrie, Aldridge, Griffin, TLC. It just doesn't matter. Joe Harris, whoever's playing, whoever's sitting, they're going to score 100 and something points, and they're going to blow somebody out.
I would think that for guys like Joe Harris and, say, Landry Shamet, TLC, as you like to say.
Well, I always screw up the last name.
All right, but Cabarrou.
You're
right, but what's amazing is that for those guys to be a part of this situation and to know before the game starts that when they go out and play that 99.9% of the time they're going to win the game.
Yeah.
They have a sick confidence about the way that they're playing right now, and they don't have the big 3 out there. And Kevin Durant looks fine. He's stealing the ball. He's making shots, mid-range jumpers, passing the ball as a 7-foot point guard. So I don't know what to tell you. It's all about the players for them. All this other stuff is nothing. I mean, when you got guys taking off and guys getting hurt and guys missing, this is about basically getting to the finals and beating most likely the Lakers or the Utah Jazz.
I guess the big question is, will the lack of time that these guys had together affect them against a good basketball team in the playoffs? I mean, And so far, I mean, the answer I would say would be no. I mean, I don't think it's going to.
Is Philadelphia going to give them a run?
I don't think in the Eastern Conference.
Is Boston going to give them a run?
No, and Milwaukee probably not either. I mean, I would say if the Lakers get healthy because of the depth of their roster and they won it last year in the bubble, if they are, I mean, I'm talking fully healthy, Anthony Davis and LeBron James, maybe. But outside of that, these guys will just show up, whatever versions of themselves they are, whoever's playing, and they're going to skate. They are. That's the way I would be floored if they didn't make it to the finals. And I just got to see who they're meeting in the finals.
Now, did you see this? And I don't know. I think it's serious. I looked at it like 4 or 5 times, and I think it's serious.
Okay.
Al, do you know who Anthony Edwards is?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Only because of the story that I'm going to say.
Correct. No, I knew he was a basketball player.
All right, okay.
I thought you were going to say.
But you only know this because of what I'm about to say.
No, I've heard his name in the past. And I would have guessed he was
a high draft pick.
Right.
He was the number 1 overall pick this past year.
All right, so they asked him, in a sense, do you know who Alex Rodrigues is? What did he say?
No.
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 No. How do you not know who Alex Rodrigues is?
I don't find it all that surprising. I really don't.
I mean, it's not like Alex he's been out of the game, for 4 or 5 years?
It's been longer than that, hasn't it?
I guess it has been.
It's been longer than that.
Was it 2012?
I want to say probably closer to there than 2016.
Man, it's been 9 years he's been out? Come on.
All right, so it's actually, you know what it was? It was the last season was 2016. So you're right. You were right.
All right, it's about 5 years. Okay, so I was right. How does Anthony Edwards not know who he is? Now, Anthony is probably 18 or 19 years old?
Yeah, he is. Yep.
He's 19 years old, and he has no idea who A-Rod is?
I don't think it's that crazy.
Does he know who Jennifer Lopez is?
I'm sure he does. I mean, that would be the way that he would know who A-Rod is.
I thought that was so my question is really, do you think it's true? You think he's messing? And by the way, he plays with his hair more than you play with your hair.
I know, which is a feat. All right, so I know he went to Georgia, but he was born in Atlanta. I'm assuming he spent most of his time in Georgia as well. If he ended up being born there and then going to Georgia, did he live there? High school was in Atlanta. So, I mean, Atlanta, not the biggest baseball town. He's been a basketball star for his entire life. I don't think it's that far-fetched. I really don't. You got to remember, I mean, we lived and breathed A-Rod for so long around here.
It was such a big story, though. I mean, everything was all A-Rod, literally, for almost like 2 years.
But if you don't care about baseball at all.
But, I mean, he's an athlete. So
I know.
You would kind of think that you would be checking in on things, right? No?
Jerry's going to have the full audio.
Yeah.
Once I hear that, I'll be able to tell if he's messing or not. Don't you have that, like, cynical antenna you can tell?
You know, the thing is like, he comes off like he's likable. I mean, it's he's sitting there messing with his hair. Everything just like you do.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe that he didn't know who A-Rod was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't find that all that surprising. I mean, there's a lot of – so I bet you there's a bunch of people his age and that he could throw names at us of people that are way more popular than A-Rod is right now that we wouldn't know, that are either in music or
so.
Yeah, we do know Dua Lipa. We know Doja Cat.
Doja Cat. Yeah.
We know Doja Cat.
I mean, come on, man.
We know you did the commercial with her on TikTok, Charlie D'Amelio or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
D'Amelio.
D'Amelio, I think.
D'Amelio. We know her. We know
Lil Nas X.
We don't. Yeah, Lil Nas X. He's been in the news. We know Lil Baby and Da Baby. We know a few.
The Baby.
Yeah, I'm more of a Da Baby guy than a Lil Baby guy. I am.
Okay. Well, that's good.
I am just to make sure we got our facts straight.
But I know what we're trying to do here. We're trying to cross over to see who knows who and who doesn't. I'm not saying that, but it's A-Rod, for God's sake.
Yeah, so
I mean, he's all over the place.
Yeah, in our lives.
Yeah, but he's on ESPN. He's everywhere.
Yeah, I know, but if you don't care about baseball, then why would you care about A-Rod? And think about it. I mean, I bet you. I mean, there are who do you think the Arod equivalent would be in basketball?
Do I have to be somebody that has retired? Well, Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade, but there wasn't a lot of some controversy with him.
Yeah, but Dwayne Wade, like in other words, here's a all-star, Hall of Famer. Arod's not probably going to get in the Hall of Fame, but still that type of player that now has been retired.
You think every 18 to 20-year-old Major League Baseball player knows who Dwayne Wade is?
Maybe not the international baseball players.
Okay.
They may not know.
All right. I don't know. I don't find it all that far-fetched. Do you think it's crazy that Anthony Edwards doesn't know who A-Rod is, Al?
No, because Jerry was breaking it down for me for his age and when A-Rod was big.
Yeah.
But has A-Rod not been in the news ever since he got here?
But not in his news. That's the thing. Everything is tailored to whatever you want. His world has been, I'm going to be a basketball superstar. These are the things I like. These are my friends, what they like. A-Rod doesn't penetrate any of that. It doesn't. He's on the outside looking in. A-Rod doesn't get into that world.
He's been with Beyonce now for how long?
Beyonce?
I mean, not Beyonce. Jennifer Lopez for how long?
Yeah, it's been a little bit. But for a guy who's 18, 19 years old, they're old. I'm sorry, they are. I mean, it's not like the hot young couple. They're older. They're in their 50s.
True.
Think about it. Was there a 50-year-old couple when you were 18 that you were paying attention to? Probably not.
I don't remember.
Exactly. Probably not. I don't think it's that crazy.
But then again, I'm a unique guy because I am a fan. I was a fan of these sports growing up.
Yeah.
So it's not just, okay, I went into the NFL and I wanted to be a quarterback. Yeah, but I always was rooting for the Mets, always rooting for the Knicks, always rooting for the Rangers, always following those sports. So I kind of knew everything that was going on in all those sports.
All right, so Allie, who does makeup for us, had to Google you the first day that you worked here.
She did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She told you that?
Mm-hmm.
When did she tell you that?
Wasn't that long ago.
Really?
It was a conversation. Did not know who you were. Now, this is someone who's grown up on Long Island.
True.
You are.
Now you're really shooting me down. Now.
You're in the airport
totally
for crying out loud.
Shooting me down right now.
Well, I'm just trying to tell you
you're
that.
Shooting me down. Why do you have to bring that up? Why do you have to bring her up?
To make the point that younger people don't always know the greats of the past.
She never told me that.
Well,
I'm like really disappointed right now.
Yep, it's the truth.
I just I need to hear this.
Yeah, it is the truth.
Right.
I'm just letting you know. I know you don't want to believe it.
Are you hearing this?
It's true.
Yep.
Sorry to say.
How old were you?
I was here at 19 years old.
Yeah.
Actually, I had to ask my dad who you were.
And your dad?
Yeah.
He knew.
He knew. I had to ask him.
Yeah. Your sister knew.
I don't know.
Kat didn't know?
No. I don't know.
You didn't know.
I had no idea.
Yeah, but you're not a sports person. But now all of a sudden, like the last week.
Dan Marino was on there, and I texted my dad. I'm like, who's this guy Dan Marino I'm doing makeup for? He's like, you're kidding me.
Right, exactly. Okay.
See?
Yep.
Just furders the point.
But she's not an athlete, though. You weren't an athlete, right?
No.
Right, you had no interest in sports whatsoever.
I mean, I ran track, but I didn't, follow sports.
Yeah, I'm talking about, you didn't follow sports.
No.
Like, you weren't a Jet fan growing up or a Giant fan or any of that stuff.
No.
Well, see, that's...
Okay, Anthony Edwards wasn't a baseball fan.
He's the first overall pick in the NBA,
what? I bet you he could rattle off every NBA player, but he wasn't a baseball fan.
I just want you to know that I'm actually disappointed this morning.
Well, when I did Google you, I was impressed by you.
That's great.
Okay. Right. Very good.
That's unbelievable.
See, but it just proves the point.
Her husband knows.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, Sal, for crying out loud,
yes.
He knows everything about us.
Right.
I think he showed up at my house yesterday just to hang out in the yard, Sal. He's the man. You got a mullet because of me, too.
So, Al, let me ask Al this, because Al worked in sport. You knew who Craig was, obviously, because you guys had been friends.
Yeah.
You knew me, right? 2007?
Oh, yeah. No, I was a huge NFL fan. Still am.
Yeah, because you're a big 80s fan, NFL 80s.
Love the 80s.
Right.
70s, 80s, 90s.
Now you're worried that other people didn't know who you were when you started?
Around here, I would think a sports talk station.
Well, everybody knew that. Yeah, of course. I mean, come on. Everybody, all of us in the newsroom.
You just couldn't wait to tell me that, could you? You just could not.
All right.
And how did that discussion start?
I think it was some other discussion like this about not knowing people or who was who. I don't remember.
And then she offered, or did you ask?
No. She offered. She offered that information. And I knew it would affect you in some way, so I kept it to myself. But in this discussion that we were having, and this sort of disagreement, I had it in my back pocket, and I presented it to you at this time.
I think it's a disagreement. I'm just asking, like, how could Anthony Edwards not know who? He's an athlete.
All right.
And A-Rod was like, when Anthony Edwards was a kid, A-Rod was right in the middle of everything.
He didn't like baseball. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You don't like baseball. You're not a baseball fan. A-Rod means nothing to you. That's what it comes down to. Sorry to say. I'll tell you who I'd freak out if I were Rob Manfred and I heard that. I'd be like, what? One of the biggest names in the sport? This guy has no idea who it is? 19-year-old, first overall draft pick in the NBA? And he'd never heard of A-Rod? What does that say for our game? That's what I would say.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.